I actually hoped to speak today, but the Speaker's office didn't furnish Miss Buck with my name for some reason. In terms of the Ahmadis are a peace-loving community whose motto is love for all and hatred for none.
Indeed.
And at the core of Islam is a belief that if you wish to love and serve God, you must love and serve his creation. To that end, Ahmadis focus themselves on humanitarian activities such as providing healthcare, education, and clean drinking water for those who need them. Ahmadis work to foster understanding between faith groups and support charities throughout the United Kingdom and indeed throughout the world. Sadly, however, as has been mentioned by the Honourable Gentleman of Stanford and yourself, Ahmadis suffer vicious persecution around the world. The main source of fuel for this persecution is from Pakistan. But what happens in Pakistan does not stay in Pakistan. I know from my own experience in the Yorkshire market town of Batley, when I was an 11-year-old boy in August 1985, my parents had organised an interfaith meeting in the town hall. And it was interrupted and disturbed when, according to West Yorkshire Police at the time, over 1,000 extremists were bussed in from around the country, led by Pakistani hate preachers, funded by the Pakistan state. The mob brutally attacked my English mother and my father, a dermatologist, my eldest brother and I, and a Welsh Ahmadi school teacher who was with us. My first cousin, a GP, was by chance driving through the market town on that day, and he saw the mob and his family and friends being attacked, and so he stopped. He was recognised and pulled from his vehicle and savagely beaten up. With the help of riot police, we were called in, and somehow we managed to find sanctuary in the local police station, which was adjacent to the town hall, on the market square. Many fanatics continued to pour in, and they besieged the police station. The standoff lasted for hours. Finally, the police were able to secure our release from essentially a hostage situation because they released those violent fanatics that they had arrested who had attacked us, stallholders, and police officers. Those peddlers of hate were released to allow us to go under armed escort to Pinterfields Hospital, where my father was still practicing and my mother and grandmother had been nurses, to receive hospital treatment. That attack in '85, targeted against my family, was inspired by the President of Pakistan, Zia. He had sent his hate preachers to the United Kingdom that month, asking them to rid the UK of the cancer of Ahmadiyyat. Our MP at the time for Batley and Spen, Elizabeth Peacock, spoke with the Home Secretary frequently, but nothing was done. And I say that from that moment in the 80s, they seem to be, with Muslim extremists, seem to then get a feeling of an exceptional status above the law in the United Kingdom, which began to pervade. And these things have consequences. Like an infection, they jump over species. And so what followed in 7/7, you had attacks related to the West Yorkshire area. Also, in June 2016, we had the awful attack on and murder of Joe Cox. Of course.
Thank gentleman you. Some space, because I do recognise that there was an error on the listing. If he wants to just finish or ask a specific question with one line, I will permit him to do that. But interventions are not meant to be mini speeches, so I think he's
do you not agree
as much time as he may.
That the violent extremism jumps species and places, and it has to be attacked and combated at home as well as abroad? And one of the great roots of this is where there is a poverty of freedom of expression and confession.
Yes.